global venture capital and ecosystem growth in Cyprus.
The good news that I have for guys a very big presentation for you. It's 60 slides. And the bad news is just I have only 10 minutes to combine all the content from this presentation to your heads, but I try my best. So the quick question maybe to the audience, guys, like, do you familiar with what is exactly the venture capital is? Maybe if you have understanding that the venture capital is working in sort of way, maybe you can raise your hand if you like, have idea about the venture capital and how it works. Now I have 9 minutes to go and still 60 slides. Okay, so today I would like to speak about what exactly we are facing through the venture capital as an asset class in next several years, because it's very important. And of course, if we are talking about the driven innovation economy that we have in Cyprus, all of these trends are like, important to consider for the upcoming growth. So that's the core figures about the business and venture capital. The last year was good, not so great like 2021, but still good, because overall, like more than 400 billions was committed to different kind of startups and company that raise this money. A part of that, like why I can share this information, and I'm eligible to do that because in our portfolio we invest in 12 unicorns on a pre-seed seed stage. So we are the guys who selected these companies on the very early stage. That's probably a nice achievement. And a part of that, like, what we are decide and what we understand from this path, that venture capital market, it's not so easy because it's all about driven connections. So once you define your connection network, it helps you to robust your business exponentially. That means that, like, if we're talking about the trend, when we started out this venture capital investment in 2010, it was like that. Like, most of the trends, they like, on TV, very old-fashioned mobile format, etc. Then they migrate to this sort of landscape that we get more and more kind of industries that's pretty robust. And right now what we face that, like, this industry are not so good. So you don't need to take a picture of this industry because they are like, the weakness industry right now because they're not so popular in venture capital. And if we're talking about something that's very popular from the venture capital investment, it's cybersecurity, of course, healthcare, of course, still yet finance, or of course, enterprise software and space tech. But like, to give you an example, these sort of companies can build, for example, the 2 up to 6 layers building in just few weeks, like 4 weeks, 1 week, just one layer. And that's already been prefabricated. It's our initial investment on pre-seed stage. By the way, the founder of this company is Marcus Furman, who created the company that you probably also know about. It's Delivery Hero. They're a very nice company. He sold this company when it goes to IPO, then he started out. So it's a Tesla for construction. So he built everything in Germany and go further. If we're talking about like how we are moving around, it's also dramatically changed because car sharing right now is very popular across Europe. Of course, in Cyprus, yes, we do have a lot of examples, but initially companies like BP that we were like, early stage investor and sold to Renault Group a year ago. It was very also great company that showed that the popularity of the car sharing services is very robust. In terms of the crypto, we're talking about the crypto a lot, but there is examples like Starbucks already trying to integrate with Polygon, and there is a lot of great examples how exactly it's happening. We also have a great investment in this field like Spice AI ICLUB that growing rapidly. But again, like, if we go further, like, we have metaverses, they're still yet popular. If we're talking about like something that we need to consider, it's of course AI. This year it's all about AI. But the good news that we invest in a company Deeple on pre-seed stage. Right now this company is costing valued over $1 billion, and of course they plan to go public next year, so we'll finally get a lot of returns to our fund. That's great news. If we're talking about another trend that's really important to highlight, is cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is something that you need to consider because of the market size. The market is huge, 2 trillion. Imagine last year, has been stolen around 3 billion of assets through the crypto, scam and cybersecurity threats. If we're talking about this sort of investment, we made the Cuba investment. I also personally invest in this company that's very nice. If you want to check, go to LinkedIn. They're doing a lot of great stuff right now with cybersecurity for crypto. And I think they are #1 right now in terms of the speed of growth and changes. And by the way, in this company, Cuba, the founder made several exits already from the cybersecurity, 3 exits before. So it's the fourth company from his experience that he started out. So that's a robust thing. If we're talking about how we changed our approach of living, of course, we are working remotely. We are meeting the people, we're doing business remotely. And that's the answer how we also trying to implement this trend with our portfolio. So there is a lot of great examples like Research Rabbit, of course, like Access-Owl and Cleverera that helped you to do that. And if we're thinking about how exactly the industry of media and, of course, creator economy will change, it goes very fast with the integration like Roblox, with the metaverses, with different kind of engagement of audience that help everyone to express themselves as much as possible. So, but what about us? What about our physical, avatars, like personalities? We are doing a lot of threat to the environment, of course, with our just daily work and daily consumption. And if we're talking about these, that's just the numbers. That's of course will face a lot of challenges upcoming, but we already have a company that addresses this challenge because the 3D printing mills, etc., it's already been placed on a radar, so it will be happening. Even in Larnaca, there is one company that produces synthetic chicken, so that's already on track with Cyprus. We are doing exactly great traction with a company like Perfect Egg. So they produce a lot of different products that will be replacing, this footprint from the environment, because, they've been produced on factories, not on the old way fashion that's impacted area. And if we're about talking about how we eat, it's already important also trend of obesity. It's very crucial for whole the global economy. So that's mean that companies like Berry Street that provide you all the dietitians for free, but using your your profile to make the story happen, with your insurance company, it's a great companies to watch out. But by the way, in Berry Street, we co-invest with the fund ICLUB Global, that are the fund that has all the LP like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Eric Schmidt, all of these guys also on the bench with us. So the healthcare GDP is also crucial. After COVID, it's still the number a topic for discussion because there is a lot of money in this industry, a lot of things that need to be considered. And again, we are addressing this trend with our great companies like Impress, that the company that we invest on pre-seed stage right now, this company is doing in 3 years over the 100 million IRR. They #1 in Europe for the airliner and dental business, and right now they're acquiring even US-based competitors. So that's, in my opinion, great track. And the healthcare will continuously grow because there is a lot of growth stage investors on this field. If we're talking about the mental health, we have also great example like LME, the company that's working with autism kids, that's helping them to adapt with the existing environment. But that's already great trend because LME is valued over than billions. So that's considered that the market is already defined this way, that it's already important. And we've seen that this environment that we are consuming, not just from the ecology, but from the working threat, have a lot of importance to understand that you will still spend a lot of money on your psychologists, etc. So that will be also a great trend. So how we shop, it's also important. We have a lot of e-commerce trend that still continues to grow. Today was a lot of discussion about that. But the important thing, it's exactly how we and what we consuming from this, e-commerce. Project like DSOA from Katy Perry, the organic, completely helpful drink that completely without alcohol, but still have a flavor of regular drinks, very popular in New York, Chicago. So they growing rapidly because people trying to be more smart when they trying to consume something. And if we're talking about these D2C brands, we have great examples like Yepoda, Attitude, DSOA that change the environment as well because they completely redesign the supply chain for them. So imagine, like, you also changing clothes rapidly, but it's very important to understand that, like, a lot of clothes just go into the waste from the fast fashion brands, etc. And we see this trend that, like, the more and less people will spend money for, like, quick commerce and, like, this not sustainable fashion, because, like, it's a question how you are consuming your goods. So moving forward, like, we have great example, like how you can change your career path even right now to become a developer, like Mate Academy. They are #1 and great companies. Why? Because, like, they're not just offering you education course, but they also guarantee that you'll secure a job after these courses. So Mate Academy already on track with that. And even not charging any penny while you are educating, because they will charge when you start your work as already new career path. So Coursera, education online, it's everything already print present, and you know about that. So also financial management, how we are using our finance to grow, like, and also to secure our position. So that's a company that we invest and believe in, because, like, even with Feminize, we made successful exits a year ago. There's been acquired as well, like, it's a great inside tool. Like fintech farm companies that changed the whole landscape of Azerbaijani market. In 10 months, they changed and get, I think, like, around 40% of the whole market of users. Like, 10% they become profitable in Azerbaijan, and right now they're launching in the Vietnam and etc. region. So what you need to know, so the trends is important, but you need to understand that you need to always learn, always invest in yourself, and also understand how exactly you can build your security and connect with people. So that's the reason why we are here. So that's all the iClubs that we are running globally, and you can easily, like, subscribe to our insights through this hashtag. It's easy. But again, like, what I would like to point out that the future is now, and maybe it's also important to highlight today that all of these biotechnologies that we invest in also change the landscape of medicine right now. Like an example, like we have a great company that we invest in on a gen redesign process that can easily, like, leverage the gap with your, like, potential risk of disease, etc. We also invest in AI healthcare, and that's also the great trend that you need to be thinking about, because, like, all of the cases, it's a data, so AI can make great examples for you to treat you well and to maybe leverage the risk of the get disease. And of course, if we're talking about, like, proteins, we're also on track with that. We invest in the Protea. That's a company that redesigned the proteins, like, and help people already securing the FDA process right now. If we are talking about, like, clothing, we have a great example that I already shared, but want to point it out to this company, Fertility. That's a #1 company in Europe that get the FDA approval for fertility test at home. So since September, they already provide these tests. So check them out. This, like, website, Fertility, is a great company. And for now, like, I think that's one company that, like, also to point out is like Matrix, but it's already on the radar. This technology has been already tested on animals and been FDA approved for animals. Right now, it's started out to test on humans. It's a company called Vitara, and they basically, like, will replace the cases with all like early, like, births of the kids that no one be able to care about. So this like, incubation process can help with that. And of course, like, if we're talking about AI, next thing is to be quantum computers. We're already on track with this. We've seen several companies from UK, etc. So we believe in this technology as well. So right now, that's probably end of my presentation. Last thing that I'd like to point that fusion energy is, of course, an important trend, but you need to be focused and very precise about that. That's it, probably. Thank you so much.